This is like take 15 on this video. This is not an easy video to make. I'm doing it all from memory, and hopefully it'll benefit you, your family, your loved ones, whoever you might know who is involved with Jehovah's Witnesses. What I'd like to do is take the time to help you understand how to deprogram Jehovah's Witnesses. One thing you want to keep in mind is you want to avoid confrontation. You will not get very far with Jehovah's Witnesses arguing with them over scriptures, over beliefs. What you want to do is you want to establish a warm, friendly relationship with them by showing interest in their religion. Now, you may not understand why you would want to do this, but by doing this, you are now opening the way to reach Jehovah's Witnesses where it's impossible to do if you're in a confrontational situation with them. Another thing you want to do is control the conversation, and you do this by asking them questions. So if they come to your door, the first thing you want to do, no matter what they say to you, is say, "Oh, are you Jehovah's Witnesses? I'd like to know more about your beliefs. Could you tell me your basic core beliefs?" And they will explain to you that Jehovah is God's name. We believe that Jesus is God's Son, and we also believe that the earth is going to be made into a beautiful paradise one day where we'll all be able to pet sheep, lions, cobras, and play music together and have big picnics, and we're going to live like one big happy family. Now, it may not be these things specifically that they tell you, but you just want them to feel warm with you, that they feel they can converse with you and explain their beliefs. The next thing you want to do is establish what it would take for you to become a member. So you ask them, what would it take for me to become a member? And they'll go through a list of things that you would have to do. You would have to take in basic Bible knowledge. You'd have to conform your life to live in harmony with the principles that you learn, and then you'd be eligible for baptism. And it's at the point of baptism that you become a member. So after they thoroughly establish with you what would be required for you to become a member, then ask them, how long have you been a member? And they will then tell you something like, well, I've been in the truth for, let's see, I was born in the truth. So you want to stop and say, what is the truth? What do you mean the truth? By doing this, again, you're establishing a relationship with them, that you're interested in their beliefs. You're showing them that you want to learn more about their beliefs. And if you happen to be someone like me that knows the loaded language of Jehovah's Witnesses, you don't want them to know you know this. So by asking them, what do you mean the truth? They're feeling now that they don't have to be on guard with you. They're lowering their guard, and that's what you want them to do. You do not want them to be in defense mode. You want them to feel free to speak to you in candid ways. So whatever they tell you, if they tell you they've been witnesses for 20 years, you want to remember that number, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. So the next thing you want to do is, after you establish what would be required for you to become a member, then ask them, would there be a penalty now if I no longer want to be a member? And now you're going to be met with hesitation from them, because that's not an easy question for them to answer. If they say anything like, that's a hard question, remind them of how long they've been members. Well, haven't you been a member for 20 years? Why would that be a difficult question to answer? And then quickly ask them, have you ever spoken to former members? And again, they don't want to tell you they have. Why? Because they've been told not to speak to former members. But they don't want you to know that. They're programmed to bring you into this religion, not tell you things to push you away. So a cognitive dissonance now occurs in their minds, and their pupils begin doing weird things. They get big, they get small, and some of you are going to write into me in your comments that you're going to go through these steps, and I witnessed this very thing that I'm telling you. So after you ask them if they've ever spoken to former members and they don't want to tell you the answer, then say to them, have you been told not to speak to former members by your leaders? And again, they do not want to tell you that they've been told not to speak to former members. They will never tell you at this point that they have been ordered to shun former members, even if it's their own family. They may say to you, if this shunning thing does happen to come up, they may say that other clubs and groups and other organizations also give a penalty if you want to leave early. what you want to do is establish here, within your own mind, that what these other groups don't do is call up other people and say, shun this person because they don't believe the way we do. What this shunning does is causes the members to now accept any tenet that the Watchtower Society mandates without question. Why? Because they'll lose their family and friends. That's how mind control works. So they're no longer operating under their own thinking and belief system. They're adhering to the belief system of their leaders and are willing to do anything to keep from losing their family and friends. So after you ask them, have you been told not to speak to former members, and you see that hesitation, what you want to do then is say, the reason I'm asking you is because religious groups that forbid their members from speaking to former members are categorized as psychologically destructive cults. And then if you can get into an explanation why, that this shunning thing it holds great power over the members in their future decisions they make within this group and keeps them penned in, psychologically enslaved to this religion, now what you're doing is planting a seed in them that they'll never forget. This conversation you've had with them within like 5 minutes is going to haunt them for the rest of their time they're in this religion. And that's a big step in deprogramming them. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, please ask your questions in the comments here in this YouTube video. Bye-bye.